Week 3 will see the transition from our Unit 1 Finding Your Academic Voice essay into our Unit 2 Research Toolbox. The Research Toolbox will occupy about half of the course, if not a little bit more of it too. So it will be the most substantial unit that we will complete in class. And it will prepare you to write a full-length research paper for your academic discipline. Before we jump too far into the Research Toolbox though, we'll wrap up Finding Your Academic Voice essay. You will of course have a peer review that is due, but you will then submit the final draft of that with the comments from your peer review partner integrated into the draft and completely edited and prepared for your audience by Wednesday night for full credit. And we'll go forward from there. Your research toolbox will be a step-by-step process. So the importance of the research toolbox is fairly straightforward. Most people, when they actually start thinking about building a project, a major project, they don't know the series of steps that go into it. And that's essentially what this toolbox is made to do. You'll start with a proposal, which will be due Sunday night. You'll move into an annotated bibliography, then a structured paper called a literature review, and you'll wrap that up with a multimodal presentation. This will occupy about 4 weeks of class, and you'll see you basically have one of these projects due every week. The research toolbox proposal is where we're going to start, and we'll go into week 3 for Unit 2 in just a second to talk about it. But the one idea you need to have in mind is that you're going to have a research question you want to ask, and you will be married to that research question throughout the rest of the semester. So we'll click on week 3. And we'll begin sort of thinking about your actual research question, which will be underneath discussion 2.1. And we'll go through the tasks here in a second. So what I'm going to start on though is reading journal number 3. That's the first item underneath the task session here. What reading journal number 3 is just asking you to kind of reflect on the process of going through the peer review step by step. It's a private journal entry that allows you to communicate to me what you felt about the peer review process, how you liked working with your partner, how that relationship evolved, was it helpful or was it not helpful? So just a short little reflection, about 250, 300 words on that. Then you'll have your chance to submit the final draft of Finding Your Academic Voice essay midnight at Wednesday, June the 10th. And then you'll be thinking about this research question. I'll go and click on our discussion forum to show you it. Very brief little prompt. So this is the forum where you're going to submit your research question and where we as a class will debate it back and forth and get it to the point where it is the most narrow, focused research question you can have to ask. And I've included a hyperlink to some sample research questions here. I've actually already clicked on it. We'll give you some different examples of what makes a good research question versus a bad one. So please review this to kind of think about what will go into your research for your academic discipline related to your profession and your major as well. And we'll get back into the forum and debate it back and forth. Okay, so that's the basic research toolbox, and we'll go over the toolbox proposal here in a moment, where you have basically just a much more advanced proposal than you did for Finding Your Academic Voice essay. But what I want to introduce now is the concept of the electronic portfolio. And that's underneath this setup portfolio guide. There's 3 steps for it. This is not a very involved process. If you've never set up an electronic portfolio in a writing course here at the University of Mississippi, it should only take you about 15-20 minutes maximum. If you already have a portfolio from Writing 100, 101, or 102, you do not need to create another one. You simply log into your .go Ole Miss email address, and you share a valid working link to it underneath the step 3, the Share Your Link tab. But if you do not have an ePortfolio, you need to follow the steps thoroughly and create it with a Google website. What an ePortfolio basically is just a platform to show all of your learning and to carry with you outside of this class. You're going to host your final paper on the ePortfolio, so it's obviously crucial that you set it up and share it with me correctly. And you will also be offered the opportunity to reflect on different aspects of the course throughout the writing process for each paper and each project that we complete. That is basically our ePortfolio, and that is a requirement, that is a departmental requirement throughout every writing section throughout our classes at the university. If you have questions about that, please email me about the ePortfolio. There are some helpful videos from Andrew Davis, our technology designer, that show you step-by-step how to successfully create a Google document and actually use a template that was designed for the University of Mississippi to use by Google. So that should be helpful. And of course, once you go through that steps, you'll have to think about and read the different chapters about our research toolbox and what that will actually entail. And once you are ready to submit your research toolbox proposal, you will go down to the very bottom of week 3 where it is located. And of course, by Sunday night at midnight, you will go ahead and then click on and submit your proposal here. It is a little bit longer proposal. It's about 2 pages minimum. It needs to have a creative and descriptive appropriate title. It should contain a hypothesis, a preliminary thesis statement claim based off of maybe an answer to your research question that you submitted earlier on in the week. This proposal is going to be a rough sketch. It's not going to be complete. No one expects you to be complete, but it's your job to outline as thoroughly as you can your expectations for this research project that you are going to entertain. A lot of students ask, can they use the basic claim that they were trying to focus on in their find their academic voice essay? And yes, that's perfectly fine. You can use that claim that you were looking at or that theme you're researching within your academic discipline. The one thing, though, to keep in mind, and again, once we're at the stage past your research question and your proposal, this is what you are going to be married with throughout the entire course. So you are going to have to spend some time thinking about this and spending some time basically engaging in the process. There are some good student examples, at least one here that I put up that you can click on that hyperlink of the Toolbox proposal in the submission tab here. And you can also go through the Research Toolbox proposal student example up here as well too. Excuse me. So that is where we're sort of headed. Class is going to get to the point where we're kind of moving along at a very brisk pace. We're obviously going to hit our summer break here fairly shortly, but we will be well along within our process of the Research Toolbox in Unit 2 at that time. And that's basically what this is. The Research Toolbox is just getting you set up for writing your Unit 3 paper. And people, students, and if I was a student too, I would freak out and say, wait, I'm going to do all this work, then I have to write the paper. Well, in Unit 3, yes, well, you are going to write the paper in Unit 3, but in reality, 90 or 85% of the work for the paper is already going to be completed in Unit 2. So it's really going to be mainly polishing the paper and putting it together for Unit 3. You're not going to have to write something completely different for your final paper for that. That will simply be the research paper that was put together from what you constructed within your toolbox. So that's really what this is. It's more or less a semester-length tutorial of how to actually develop a real-world research project to help you out going forward in your academic major. And if you have any questions, as always, please email me. I'm trying my best to keep up with discussion posts and getting back to you guys on that too. You should have a little bit better understanding of what your grade is at the end of week 3, because I will have your finding your academic voice essay graded and quite a few of your reading journals and discussion posts graded as well. I will also talk about the options that you might have to revise essays if you like toward the end of week 3. And I will either do that through a screencast like this, maybe a podcast or simply an email. But I do like to give you guys the option to revise final drafts if you want to do so, because I want you guys to be happy with your class, happy with the grade, and happy with your performance. But if you have any questions, like I've said before, please do not hesitate to send me an email, and I will work on trying to get some dates lined up so that we can have the possibility of a group chat with GChat or even Skype.